Hi, my name is Jonas. This is Sublime Media, and on this channel I talk about records and record related stuff like today. And this video is going to be all about Blue Note records. It's like this. At the end of last year, I think, they had an overstock or something. So a distributor had a huge sort of campaign on the Blue Note records. So I got a bunch for my customers. Pretty big load of customers got a lot of Blue Note records. That was awesome. Great time. But I also managed to get some for myself. And what I have been doing is I've been playing these records throughout the months since, putting them aside, taking notes, and just waiting till I had a pile to show you guys in one big Blue Note video. And now is the time. But I have to say, like, the ones I'm going to show you is about 1/3 of the records that I have got. So I have more videos to come. But yeah, so some of these are older, newer releases from Blue Note, and some are pretty new, like very new, like last month's release. You know the deal. I don't think that anyone that watches my channel haven't noticed what Blue Note is up to nowadays. But if you haven't, here's a brief sort of the gist of it. Blue Note is releasing some amazing material right now. Like, they have a classic series going, which is a single sleeve and pressed in Germany. Sounds like a dream. Affordable releases. And then they have their more high-end audiophile stuff called the Tone Poets, where they go a little bit outside of the box, digging up some shelved material, some stuff that was recorded back in the day, but maybe was released in the 80s and 90s, and now they get a retreatment. Stuff like that. Often with a gatefold, thick cardboard jacket, pressed in the States. I mean, and every single one of these are mastered from the original master tapes by Kevin Gray. And he is on top of the ones that makes good sounding records nowadays. So, needless to say, it's a great time to be alive if you're a jazz fan right now. They are releasing about like 2 Tone Poets a month and 2 classic series a month, and it's ruining every one of us. It's ruining our record budgets, because I want them all, but you can't buy them all. But I have tried to get the ones that I really think that I will need in my Blue Note collection. That is growing pretty fastly. Anyways, so yeah, if you're interested in any of these releases, I have them in my shop. If they aren't in my shop, just PM me. I can get these pretty easily. They are in print, most of them. So yeah, just DM me and we figure something out. The shop is sublimemedia.se. Pretty simple. So yeah, that was that. Let's get into the records. We are going to start by I'm going to start by showing you one of the more recent ones that I've listened to just the other day. This is Mode for Joe by Joe Henderson, 1966, I think, with a killer lineup. You have Lee Morgan on trumpet, really shines on this. Curtis Fuller on trombone, Joe Henderson on tenor sax, obviously. Bobby Hutcherson on vibes, Cedar Walton on piano, Ron Carter on bass, and Joe Chambers on drums. And most of the songs are actually penned by Joe Henderson and Curtis Fuller. And I think that Curtis Fuller with the trombone really does a great job here. Trombone is not my favorite sort of brass instrument, but he's doing a great job. And I have to say, Bobby Hutcherson also, like, vibes is my least favorite instrument when it comes to standard jazz instruments. But on this one, everyone is on their toes. They are playing great. And this is one of the classics. 1966, Mode for Joe, Joe Henderson. Get it. And the label looks like this, like almost all of the ones that I'm going to show you. And I have actually graded these, so this I gave a 9 out of 10 when I listened to it. It's that good. But even better, and this is also fairly new, 2020-24 release anyway. This is Jackie McLean's Action from 64. Yeah, 1964. This is also one of those classics that you have seen, but maybe not the one that you think of when thinking of Jackie McLean the first. yeah, Charles Tolliver, Bobby Hutchison, Cecil McBee, and Billy Higgins on this one. And again, they all shine on this one. The Tone Poet with the gatefold, you have session photos on the inside, and there's the back side there. I won't bother going with showing you the label. And I actually put every single one of these gatefolds in a gatefold sleeve, thick gatefold sleeve. I think that the already fabulous artwork gets even better with one of these sleeves. Yeah, I actually wrote 10 out of 10 because this is a mind blower. I've listened to this before, but not that in but sitting down, getting it like this with this treatment, like the sound quality is to die for. It's just like the perfect recording, the perfect Blue Note record. This is how I want my jazz to sound. So yeah, Jackie McLean's Action, 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 highly recommended. So Action was a pretty new Tone Poet release by Jackie McLean. So going back to 2021 actually, yeah, one of the older ones, is Tipping the Scale with Jackie McLean, obviously Sonny Clark, Butch Warren, and Art Taylor. And this was issued in, yeah, it was pressed, the first time it was pressed was 1984, but it was recorded in 1962, and they actually used the same session photo inside of the gatefold, which I thought was like the session photos I only thought was from the actual session, but I guess that it's anything that Alfred Lyon shot. Obvious on this one. Yeah, I wrote in my notes here that this was first issued in Japan in 1979, so I don't know why it says 1984 here, with a completely different cover artwork. A shelved session, obviously. That wasn't released until 25 years later, and through the years it's been reissued on CD and vinyl, but never with this artwork. This was something that they developed for this Tone Poet release, which I think is a better, much better cover artwork than the original Japanese one, which is just red and boring. Jackie McLean plays great here. You have Sonny Clark also, which has penned most of the tracks actually, and Art Taylor on drums, very good. Like a standard 1962 sort of solid release from Blue Note. If you like that sort of time period, and with these guys, you definitely won't be disappointed. I put a 7 out of 10 on this one. And I'm really starting to feel it for Jackie McLean. I've always liked him, but listening to it like this, you can really hear his voice on the saxophone. Great. And why stop there with Jackie McLean when you can show this one? Demon Dance. I think that this was recorded in 1967, but it wasn't released until 1970. So somewhat of a shelved session, but dug up just 3 years later. And I have no idea why they did that, because this is a great release, but all Blue Notes, like almost all Blue Notes, are great releases, great sessions, great musicians, you know. So I guess that in 1967 there were a lot of records coming out from Blue Note, so I guess that they just shelved it and released it later on. This, when you see this, at least for me, my mind starts thinking about Bitches Brew and that sort of that fusionist style that Miles started developing in the end of the 60s, early 70s. But this is not that at all. So if you think that this is going to sound like Bitches Brew, you are going to be disappointed. I was a little bit disappointed. I was a little bit more sort of, my mind was more into not a freer sound, but a little more experimental, and you don't get that here. So maybe I have to revisit this It's not that I'm gonna sell it or anything like that, but it's just like, of the ones that I'm gonna show you today, this is maybe my least favorite records of them. I put this on a 5 or a 6 out of 10, but it's still great. And Woody Shaw penned two songs on this one, and Jackie McLean penned 2, and they sound great. A fairly young Jack DeJohnette on drums also, which is kind of cool. But the artwork is amazing, like, and it really shines on this. A little bit blurry. I don't have an original press to compare, but a little bit blurry. Maybe an original press pops a little bit, has a more distinct sort of detail. But great one. Oh yeah, so this is I don't know if the right term is sleeper, but I feel like one that just came out, and I was a little bit hesitant because of, I have to say, the cover artwork did not sell the record, but also the time period, like, oh, shit. But I got it, and my mind was blown. Like, I think that I have an 8 out of 10, but I'm starting to lean a little bit more on 9 out of 10, because this is such a good record. And I'm talking about Elvin Jones' Polycurrents. So don't get fooled by this pretty unattractive cover, because the inside of this is amazing. And the session photos is also great. Like, look at Elvin here. So this is from 1969. So if you want to listen to Elvin Jones after John Coltrane died, and he is like looking for something to go venture to after he has helped at least revive the jazz in the 60s. I mean, this is the record for you. You have George Coleman, Joe Farrell on tenor sax, plays great on this. Not CTI Joe Farrell, but yeah, good Joe Farrell. Elvin Jones obviously on drums, but Pepper Adams is on this one. 1969, like, Pepper Adams died 55 years old in 1974, I think. So 5 years after this was recorded. He plays the baritone saxophone like a dream. It really shines on this one. And so cool to listen to. He died of lung cancer. He played a concert just 2 months before he died of lung cancer. He played a baritone saxophone. Just let that sink in a little bit. Just 55 years old. That's so insane. Unfortunately, no photos of Pepper Adams on the inside of the gatefold. That's a shame. Yeah. Anyway, this is a mind blower. Get this. Like, yeah, get it. Yeah. The next one. This is also one that is. I think that it's a little bit outshined by the one that came before this and the one afterwards. And in my opinion, this is the perfect record to do a tone poet of, because it's a little bit of a forgotten gem. Is that the word for it? So sandwiched between Adam's Apple and Supernova, we have Schizophrenia by Wayne Shorter, who sadly passed just a month or 2 ago, maybe. Curtis Fuller, James Balding, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Joe Chambers. So not a bad lineup, is it? Session photos, backside. As always, Wayne Shorter, he does his own stuff. Like, he sews his own clothes and makes his own breakfast. Like, you have, out of 6 songs, 5 of them are Wayne Shorter songs. So Adam's Apple just came out on the classic series, and that's a classic. But this is equally good, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that Supernova, which came after this, that has John McLaughlin on guitar, which is one of my favorite Blue Note records, I have to say. Like, I have an original press. I would love to have that on a tone poet. Like, fingers crossed. But this is... Yeah, no one will be disappointed if they get this, if they are a jazz fan. let's just say that. 1969, he really explores here, like both as a musician and as a composer. And he's pushing his band members, or whatever you want to call them, the session members, to their limits. So Joe Chambers on drums plays great. Ron Carter has never played as good bass as this. Herbie Hancock on piano, like Wayne Shorter, and he wasn't that old, really pushed the envelope and kept on pushing. One of the biggest jazz artists of all time, definitely, and you can hear it on Schizophrenia. One that I took a chance on, this is not my, and I'm gonna show you two records actually, and I think that my sort of, to sum up my experience of these two and the rest that I've heard throughout the years with this artist, I think that I don't like his playing that much. So please comment if you have any more suggestions that I should check out when it comes to Stanley Turratine. But and he went to CTI afterwards, and those records are just like too dull for me. Like, and I don't think that he has his own voice really. Like, his tone on the saxophone is pretty anonymous. I don't know if you get what I mean, but yeah. So anyway, Coming Your Way, this was released or recorded 1961 anyway. Stanley Turratine, Tommy Turratine, Horace Parlan, George Tucker, and Al Harewood. I think released the first time in 1987. So this is a shelved session, and they put this out as a Tone Poet in 2020. Great artwork, in my opinion. I think that is a great photo of Stanley Turratine, and session photos backside. I'm so grateful that this exists and that I own a copy of this, and it will never go out of my collection. Even if I rank this like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, it's still a Blue Note record, for God's sake. Like, and Horace Parlan on piano, I think, is the one that shines the most on this one. But that's just my opinion. So the next one, if that was a shelved session, and sort of understandably so, this was one that was released in 1966. Killer lineup. It has all the ingredients for being a magnificent record, but it's just like I rank this a 6 out of 6 in my book. This is also Stanley Turratine with Rough and Tumble. I think that's how we pronounce it. And listen to the lineup here: Blue Mitchell, James Spaulding, Pepper Adams, Grant Green, McCoy Tyner, Bob Cranshaw, and Mickey Rooker. A little bit of bigger band, and they play good. Like, not great, but good. Some of them play really good. Like McCoy Tyner's piano, he doesn't get that much time to stretch, but he plays great. I feel like Grant Green, when the guitar comes in, swoops in, he puts down those chords, and it's more like nuances. You know the deal. Like, also very entertaining, really good. But it's like, that's it. It doesn't do that much for me, and it's a soulful record. I think that the problem with this is, because here's a Sam Cooke song and you have a Ray Charles song, I think that they tried to put these musicians in and do a session with popular music, but Blue Note jazz like, and yeah, it doesn't really do it for me. But again, it's a Blue Note record. 6 out of 10 is still a pretty good, I mean, jazz record, and I don't regret buying it, but not my favorite. But not all can be favorites, can they? Okay, so moving into one of the absolute most recent releases in the classic series, single artwork, you know the deal. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite records of the entire Blue Note catalog. Everyone should own a copy of this. This should be in everyone's collection, just like Kind of Blue with Miles Davis is in everyone's collection, if you get what I mean. And I'm talking about Lee Morgan's Search for the New Land. recorded in 1966, but no, 64, but released 1966. And I think that what Ken Brown, that channel, I think that he did an entire video of this. I might be wrong here, but it's just such a big question mark. Like, how could they shelve this for 2 years? I don't get it. Like, it's insane. Maybe it's because Search for the New Lang, that song takes up almost the entire first side. There's one track called The Joker, which is also great, but it's like a 2-minute song or something like that. The rest of the side takes up by that, and it's a very dark, not at all a commercial tune. Like, it's the opposite of a commercial tune, but it's so damn great. Maybe that outshines the rest of the material on this record, because I can't really tell you how the second side sounds. It's 3 songs by Lee Morgan, and I love it. I mean, everything in my body just screams like the entire record is good, and the second side is good also. But The Search for New Land, that song is a colossus of a fucking song. It's, yeah, one of the pillars of jazz. Iconic artwork, everything just, yeah. Wayne Shorter, Grant Green, Herbie Hancock, original workman, and Billy Higgins. Unfortunately, the quality control sucks. So there's a lot of stitching on this one, and especially in the left channel you have a lot of distortion. So I've actually complained. That's why I don't have it in a sleeve. I've complained at the distributor, so hopefully they can send a replacement copy. I don't know. It feels like I could clean that one. I mean, I could put that in an ultrasonic cleaner, and maybe it's dirt. I could get that off. But then again, I can't really put that on my customers. Like, if they buy a record and it's distortion for 2 whole minutes, the last song on the first side, I can't tell them to clean their records before. I know that you should, but I don't feel like you should need to. Do you get what I mean? Like, so I'm complaining, and maybe I'll clean it down the line, and I will get it off. But yeah. So yeah, last but not least, 1969, and we are at Herbie Hancock. The Herbie Hancock stop. This is The Prisoner. This was recorded and released, I think, 1969, and just a year after Martin Luther King died, or got shot. So this is sort of a comment to that, and also the, I think, civil rights movement. But I'm a Swede, so I won't talk about the American politics, because I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, first song is called I Have a Dream. 10 minutes. Then the second one is Prisoner. 3 songs on the second side. This is a great album. Like, and Search for New Land is a 10 out of 10. So, but this is maybe a 8 or a 9 out of 10. You have and the criminally underrated trumpet player Johnny Coles playing on this. You also have Gordon Brown, let's see here, Buster Williams, Hubert Laws, let's see here, Joe Henderson performs also, yeah, and yeah, 1969. I'm looking at my notes here. I've written that maybe it takes a little bit more time. Like, if you expect this to be a Headhunters record, you are going to be disappointed. This is more of earlier Blue Note, and I think this is also the last one that he did for Blue Note before going to Warner and doing that entire sort of Headhunters thing. And man, he's going out with a bang. Like, he's not holding back. Some artists can just, like, if they have a contract on 10 records, the last 2 they just blow out of the, like, ripping off a band-aid. He's not doing that. He's really playing his heart out. You have out of 5 tunes, 4 of them is penned by Herbie Hancock also, which is really cool. So yeah, highly recommended. This comes as a single sleeve, but it's the same price as the other Tone Poets. I think as a standard anyway. So that's a little bit of a shame. But I've heard that Joe Harley, that sort of curates this project of Blue Notes, that if there isn't any session photos, he's not going to put it in a gatefold sleeve, just for the sake of it. So I can understand that. So yeah, that's actually it. I have one more, but I'll keep that to the next one. So a little bit of a Blue Note update. I hope you liked it. Please comment. I mean, we live for the comments. I don't do this just because I want to throw something out on YouTube. I need you guys to communicate with me. That's the only way we can sort of keep this rolling. Yeah, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. So you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and give this a thumbs up, because it really helps. It really does. Now, if you want more content, then just look me up on Instagram. I put stuff up there before YouTube, so a little bit of what's coming up, so to speak. Again, thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you in my next video.